Yeah, I saw Kadari Richmond.
Do you want to pull it up on your phone just to see if we're live?
Yeah.
I believe we are. And do you want to turn your TV down?
Yeah, my bad.
No, you're good, bro. And do you want to turn your TV down?
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
Sound good?
Yep. Sounds good.
All right.
All right. Do you want to wait? Oh, shoot. It's playing on my end. Okay. All right. We're good. All right. Ready?
Hold on a sec.
They're tipping off.
Okay. Yep.
Welcome inside the newly renovated Carrier Dome as we're kicking off the 2020 college basketball season. It's the Syracuse Orange playing host to the Bryant Bulldogs today on this beautiful Friday afternoon for some college basketball in upstate New York. My name's Giovanni alongside Kyle Marchak, your broadcast team for tonight. And Kyle, these are two teams as Bryant gets the buckets going early with a 2-point advantage, and it's an and one foul against Merrick Dolezaj. So now Bryant with an opportunity for a 3-point play. But as I was saying, this is a game today where Syracuse can't get caught sleeping. Excited to open up the season. A lot of talent on this team, a lot of excitement around the community for this squad. But they haven't practiced in 10 days after Coach Jim Boeheim, entering his 45th season, was diagnosed with COVID-19, testing positive. The team had to shut down at that point, getting their first practice before this game just yesterday inside the Dome, Kyle. So what are your thoughts on today and this challenge ahead for Syracuse, as well as what the Bulldogs have to offer?
Well, yeah, absolutely, Gio. Thank you for having me. I mean, due to the COVID regulations, only one practice under the belt of the Syracuse Orangemen so far. And, that lack of preparedness and team identity, we can see can turn into a very bad problem. We'll see that COVID has affected a lot of schedules, not just playing schedules, but practice schedules. And what does that mean to certain teams? Well, I have some notes down here. I was looking at Western Kentucky versus number 15, West Virginia. And Western Kentucky was up by 8 points in the middle of the second half. And, that's another team that isn't supposed to win, but is up. And we just saw San Fran stunned number 4 Virginia 61-60 in Bubbleville. So obviously smaller teams are getting wins today due to this lack of preparedness in larger teams that are supposed to be winning these tune-up squads.
Absolutely. Now, through your conversation there, Bryant hits a 3. Dolezaj goes the other side of the court and whiffs on a terrible shot. Joe Girard is still in the middle of the court. Syracuse down 6-0. Girard with a spin move, hits it off the glass, and it just misses. Guerrier with the rebound, and he'll go to the free throw line with a 2-point play opportunity. So Syracuse starting slow and Bryant starting hot. First it was an and one, and they convert the free throw, and then a 3-pointer. Bryant with a 6-0 advantage. Syracuse a chance to bring them just a little bit closer here. So it's early, but Bryant looks good thus far. And there's two guys on this Bryant team, Kyle, who are coming from upstate New York. Guerrier misses the first free throw off the front rim and out. But tell me about these two guys who are natives of Syracuse. One went to West Genesee High School and one went to Liverpool High School, coming in their homecoming to play in the Dome.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, Charles Pride is the first one that comes to mind. He's right from Liverpool, so right from the heart of Syracuse. He led Liverpool to a state championship in 2018, so clearly an elite basketball player, really athletic guard. And another name that pops up is Luke Sutherland. He's right from West Genesee, so they likely played against each other many times in high school. West Genesee, a less successful high school program, but also in Section 3 athletics here in Cicero, North Syracuse area. So, these guys have definitely squared off before, and it's good to see them on the same team now. I believe Sutherland was a transfer. But to see these guys in the Syracuse area finding to get to play in the Dome, maybe not in the circumstances that they wanted to at Bryant College, of course, an elite D1 school. We're glad to see these guys in Central New York, and a lot of the transfers are their teammates with them today.
Boeheim a steal, gets it up to Dolezaj, and Dolezaj converts on the free throw, the layup rather. So Bryant leads it 6-3, 18:03 left to go. We'll get a stoppage of play. And it looks like Bryant will have an opportunity here. So Syracuse really playing slow thus far, but a transition shot. Bryant trying to push the tempo and play quickly. They're already pressing Syracuse when Syracuse goes to clear out the ball. And that's interesting because Bryant wants to push the tempo. Syracuse, a team that likes to play fast with the zone. Alan Griffin, a three, and it's off the rim and out. Going down the other way with it will be the Bryant Bulldogs.
Yeah, we're going to see guys like Richmond and and Griffin, Kadari Richmond and Alan Griffin getting on the court today. Some new guys to the Syracuse roster, but, we're looking for some athletic guards and forwards that need to replace the offensive output of Elijah Hughes, the forward and star, shooter for Syracuse last year.
Mello Eggleston with a three for the Bulldogs, and now Bryant's up to a 9-3 lead. Guerrier inside to Sidibe, and Sidibe gets fouled. He'll take a trip to the charity stripe.
Yeah, you see larger and larger teams for Syracuse every year. I know only a few years to go when they had Pascal Chukwu, a 7'2 center. They were the largest team perhaps in the United States. To see that they have Guerrier and Sidibe on the court at the same time, of course, Guerrier more of a 4-5 as opposed to Sidibe being strictly a center. It's good to see that there's extra size in the court for Syracuse, but how will that affect them getting up and down the court quick enough?
Absolutely. Sidibe hits his first free throw. So now the score 9-4. Clock stops, 17:23 left to play in the first. And Bryant starting out very quick and very hot so far. 2 3-pointers for this squad. And Mello Eggleston, a redshirt junior guard, 6'8", one of the tallest guys on this team. 6'8" is as high as they go with their length. Syracuse certainly has the advantage there, and that'll be interesting to see with the rebound numbers. A moon pass goes away. Girard tips it. Eggleston says that he didn't touch it, and it looks like the Bulldogs will keep the possession alive. Girard wanted to steal. Interesting to see, Kyle. The bench is completely spread out, everybody wearing masks, but certainly very fortunate. We weren't sure if we were going to get to this point and see college basketball. So fans, the buzz in upstate New York is here. Especially with the struggling football team, people are very excited for basketball season. Girard with it, gives it up to Buddy Boeheim on the left side. Girard pulls up from deep, and he hits the front rim. Dolezaj, the rebound, goes up, and he's fouled. So a couple of fouls here early against the Bulldogs. Syracuse with 3 chances now at the free throw line, and Girard really just seemed like that wasn't a shot he needed to take, Kyle. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's more of a shooter than he is a guy who can kind of drive and, roll off the pick and roll and stuff like that. But I would like to see him change his playing style up. Obviously, the shooting with the three-point line pushed a few feet back as opposed to high school where he was absolutely running it at Glens Falls. He's not quite used to it. I'm not sure exactly what his three-point numbers were last year. He was one of the better shooters on the team. But with him not being really a wing guy, he has to run the offense. I'd like to see him get into the paint and create more fouls and more passing opportunities.
This one tipped away by Alan Griffin. Now a three, faked by Eggleston. Eggleston drives, and he's blocked by Alan Griffin. They say that Eggleston stepped out of bounds, and Syracuse will have the chance to take it away. So now Dolezaj passes it in. Once again, the Bulldogs are pressing. Girard with it at midcourt. Tightly guarded by Michael Green III. Dolezaj a drive off the front rim. He can't convert on an easy layup floater. And now Bryant going the other way quickly. Up against Joe Girard. What a bucket there for the Bulldogs. An 11-7 lead here.
Yeah, you see some of the routine stuff affecting the squad now.
Now Dolezaj comes, a layup on the other side. So the tempo's certainly moving quickly. That's exactly what Bryant wants to happen. The bucket by Luke Sutherland on the initial drive by Bryant, and now a stoppage of play. Syracuse inching a little closer. Score now 11-9, 16:31 left to play.
Yeah, if Bryant continues this tempo, it looks like it might be more of a tennis match back and forth tonight. Obviously, both teams are getting up and down the court very quick, but with Bryant pressing past half court, and Joe Girard will continue to struggle to get the ball up there.
Buddy Boeheim, pump fake, lets one fly off the mark. Sidibe a rebound on the inside, and he's fouled. So clear height advantage for Syracuse on display here. Sidibe just bigger, longer, and taller than anybody else on this Bryant squad. As I said, the highest they go in height is 6'8". Not the case for Syracuse because Barama Sidibe, as one of the tallest players, 6'10".
Yeah, I'll have to correct you on one thing. They do have a Dren Dedujash. I may have absolutely butchered that name. A guy off the bench for Bryant, obviously not necessarily prepared to be on the court so far. He is 7'2", but as tall as it gets in the court is what you're absolutely correct on. 6'8" is the tallest guy they've got out there. So obviously a lack of size is going to be a narrative tonight. And let's see if Syracuse can, kind of capitalize on that opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you for the insight, Kyle. Sidibe, his first free throws off the mark. Now still 11-9, 16-20 left to go in the first half. Now, interesting, the Loud House, not necessarily loud for football season and now basketball season. Syracuse, one of the greatest home court advantages in the sport of college basketball, and it'll greatly be missed through the early portion of the season anyways. Corner three here for the Bulldogs, and what a shot that time. The Bulldogs are on fire. Bucket there by Nathaniel Stokes, and Bryant's out to a large lead. Dolezaj driving on the inside, some contact off the front rim, and Syracuse has missed most of their shots, whether they're jumpers or layups, short off the front of that rim. Now the Bulldogs the other way. Pass to the inside. Sidibe's there, blocked away by Dolezaj initially. Buckets off. Alan Griffin the rebound. Syracuse pushing tempo. Off to Boeheim. Boeheim driving, a floater, and it's good.
And now we see more of the routine plays starting to flow. Obviously, this is supposed to be somewhat of a tune-up game, but with those lack of practices, the team isn't meshing as well, and you see guys kind of throwing up shots for themselves right now.
Yeah, that's exactly what Syracuse fans didn't want to see this time around. They wanted to get rid of the hero ball, kind of what we've seen in the previous years. Great players like Tyus Battle, who went to the National Basketball Association. Elijah Hughes, the same situation. The leading scorers on this team, a situation where it's the clear best player. Elijah Hughes led the ACC in scoring last season, but the Orange really felt like they could get away from that this season, and really have an opportunity to spread the ball around. Plenty of talent on this team, and no clear guy that's your go-to man. Really a situation where everyone can get touches and everyone can contribute. But that's not what we're seeing right now. We're seeing a lot of guys, not that they're playing selfish basketball, but it looks like the first game of the season. It looks sloppy.
Oh, yeah, certainly. I mean, like I said, you see that the lack of practices under the belt kind of affecting that team identity and the flow of the game for Syracuse right now. Whereas Bryant, I'm not sure exactly how many practices they've gotten, but it certainly looks like a lot more than Syracuse right now.
So Buddy Boeheim was fouled on the layup, a timeout here, taking a break before he has the opportunity to shoot the free throw, Kyle. And through this, Bryant, a situation where they're coming out hot. They're coming out excited to play in a big stadium in the Carrier Dome, not typically an arena or a national stage that they get to play on, playing televised on the ACC network. And these guys have shown up so far in the first 5 minutes or so. Syracuse should have the talent advantage. Bryant, a team full of transfers, but not to discredit this squad at all. Brand new head coach just 2 years ago, Jared Grasso, entering his third season as the head man for the Bryant Bulldogs in the men's basketball program. And he's seen a little bit of success in the coaches poll of the NEC conference, where the Bulldogs play against teams like Mount St. Mary's and more than that. They are picked to finish third right now in the conference. So not a pushover school by any means. And Syracuse has to play good tonight and can't lose a tough one early on in the season.
Oh, yeah. Well, they've got guys who lead the squad this year in Bryant, like Charles Pride, who's one of the only guys from the starting lineup this year to stay. Obviously, at smaller schools, you kind of see a narrative of transfers coming in and out, and they've got plenty of solid transfers coming in this year, a lot of freshmen. And I'd like to see them take a shot at that NEC title. I know, studying the footage from last year, they're more of a streaky squad. So if they can get on that streak offensively, they can continue success today and continue success forward going through the regular season.
Absolutely. Elijah Hughes certainly missed for the Orange, but was drafted in the second round to the Utah Jazz, and Syracuse fans just elated for him, as on the broadcast on the ACC network, they continue to show Elijah Hughes highlights with a congratulations to him. And Kyle, how about those throwback uniforms? Not today for Syracuse. They're wearing their traditional white on white combination for a home game, and Bryant on the other side with some brown and black in their uniforms, obviously the dark colors for the road team. But how about those throwbacks for Syracuse, both the orange and the white? Can't wait to see them sport those this season.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a beautiful union. Syracuse, kind of a postmark for a nice color scheme as they show some of the great players talking about throwbacks back in the day as Dion, Carmelo, Jeremy, all of success and after being drafted. I'm really missing those pearl unis. I'm looking forward to seeing those this year if they come back, and I'm looking forward to what they'll look like with that new drip.
Absolutely. Buddy Boeheim makes the free throw. So now Syracuse within two. It's a 14-12 lead for Bryant. 15:32 left to play. Now Syracuse playing with some pressure in the full court. Bryant's able to get it across the line and now possessing the ball at the top of the key. It's Peter Kiss. Peter Kiss, one of the leading scorers on this team as well. A guard for the Bulldogs, and they're really sharing the ball here. Top of the key, Michael Green gives it off to the corner. Now a drive off the glass, no good. The shot that time for the Bulldogs by Chris Childs. Now Alan Griffin hits a three from the top of the key. Syracuse with a 15-14 lead. Kadari Richmond now in the game for the Orange. Gets a steal. Over to Dolezaj. Back to Richmond. Buddy Boeheim pulls up for three. Off the front rim and out. And a rebound going the other way. Peter Kiss is able to grab it. And a full court pass. This game is really moving at a very quick tempo.
Yeah, usually Syracuse offensively has a very fast tempo. And then when they kind of control the pace of the game themselves with their 2-3 zone and stuff like that, they slow the game down, which is usually the way Boeheim runs it. He's been here for so long. He has the same type of thematic form of playing, and we've seen past success with it.
Peter Kiss with a deep three, and it's off the mark. Out of bounds to the left side of the court. Syracuse will take it back. A stoppage of play for some substitutions for the Bryant Bulldogs. Bryant wearing those black and gold uniforms with a hint of brown in there as well. A nice look. Syracuse in the all whites, as I mentioned, just painting the picture. Syracuse in a brand new renovated Carrier Dome this season. Up to Alan Griffin. Griffin, Gerard for three on the right side. And it's off the rim and out. Syracuse can't buy a bucket from three-point land here early. Only a couple so far. Now a wide open three opportunity in the corner for Bryant, and bobbling the ball that time momentarily was Charles Pride. Syracuse with some pressure, tipped out of bounds. Bryant will keep it. Couple of Syracuse guys got their hands on it, and it was off the hand of Stokes momentarily.
Yeah, and you see the head coach of Bryant talking to his players, motioning like this, telling them to calm down. You can tell that they're an excited squad right now. Their season opener is against Syracuse University, such a storied program. And you see small things like when they kick the ball out to the wing and Charles Pride, the pass was flicked a little bit too quick and Charles Pride mishandled it, taking away that opportunity for him to shoot. But it's small things like that. They'll just have to calm down as the pace of the game slows.
Now a three here. And a bucket for the Bulldogs. 17-15 lead, and they can't miss from three. Chris Childs with the bucket. And now Syracuse going the other way. Kadari Richmond getting his first minutes in orange. Alan Griffin for three, off the mark. And a rebound here going the other way. Bryant with it. The rebound by Peter Kiss. Now at the top with it, Luis Hurtado. Lewis over to the left side. Now a pass towards the middle, quickly kicked out, three in the corner, and Bryant gets it again. Michael Green.
Yeah, Michael Green with an open shot right there in the wing, and that's one of the holes you can see often when the 2-3 zone kind of falls asleep in that backcourt is when they get drawn out by those guards. They go a little bit up court towards the three-point line, top of the key, and then they leave open those wings.
Guerrier contested on a layup on the inside, and he's off the mark. No whistles blown. Bryant leads it 20-15, 12:42 left to play and counting, and it's a 5-point lead for the Bulldogs. Childs, some fancy footwork and dribbling skills here. He kicks it back up to the top. Hurtado kicks it over to the right side. A three-pointer's off the mark, and the shot there by Michael Green was no good. Syracuse in transition. Kadari Richmond tried to get it over to Alan Griffin, and it's taken away. Closing out on that one was Peter Kiss. An up-court pass, kicked out to the wing. Three-pointer, off the mark. Kadari Richmond with the rebound, and a shot there by Charles Pride. Now Kadari driving. A floater from the ACC logo, and it's good. So Syracuse drawing within three. Bryant nearly gives it away, and it looks like the whistle is blown. So Bryant turns it over on the inbound. Jim Boeheim does not look happy right now, Kyle, and Bryant with a 20-17 lead over Syracuse. Out comes Kadari Richmond as well as Quincy Guerrier, and you know what that means. It's time for a talk with Coach.
Yeah, those are the small things right there that Bryant is doing that Syracuse will absolutely take, because all the boys in the court right now are just a little bit too excited as Boeheim lectures his young man right there. But, Syracuse, they really have to capitalize in this possession. They can swing it right now. They're only down by 3. Of course, they shouldn't have to look for a three-pointer, because that shot that I believe Griffin just took on the inside is the shots that they need to continue to make. Get inside the paint like Girard is driving right now.
Girard, a spin move, and he's absolutely stuffed. Girard gets it back to Alan Griffin. What a series of events. Over to Boeheim on the left side, a pump fake, a drive. This one's blocked. Dolezaj tried to get the rebound, and another stoppage of play. Looks like a foul against Charles Pride, and Syracuse should have an opportunity for free throws. They're going to take a break and a timeout here, a TV timeout on the stream. But we'll keep talking to you. So, Kyle, Syracuse here not playing their best basketball, and Bryant has come out and played pretty strong. And I think the biggest difference maker is both teams are taking a lot of three-point attempts here. Bryant's shots are hitting. Syracuse's are not.
Yeah, I mean, it's all kind of a momentum type of game right now, especially with the pace at which Bryant is forcing up the court. So when we see, smaller teams, control the pace, I mean, there's not much to blame it on other than the unpreparedness of the larger team. Sometimes it's a mental lapse, believing that they're ready for a game. Of course, maybe it's not a mental lapse because they may just be unprepared due to the lack of practices under Syracuse's belt. But that's why I stress, West Virginia, number 15, staying in a game with West Kentucky, a team that's not supposed to be beating them. And then San Francisco stunning the number 4 Virginia earlier today in Bubbleville, 61-60. That's why I stress those games, is because this is supposed to be the same type of situation where a larger team like Syracuse from the ACC is supposed to take out this smaller NEC school, but this NEC school, stays scrappy and pushes the pace of the game, and they continue to make more shots than Syracuse, obviously in the score 20-17 right now.
Yes, Bryant certainly giving Syracuse a scare inside the dome right now. Coming up after this, Syracuse has scheduled some more non-conference games before they start ACC play. So after this, you have Niagara coming to the Dome on December 3rd. That's going to be Thursday, so just about 6 days away. And then December 5th, that Saturday, just a couple of days later, the Orange are going to play host to Rider. Then following that's the ACC Big Ten Challenge. It's going to be on a Tuesday. Syracuse on the road at Rutgers. Rutgers ranked 24th in the country right now. Syracuse ranked 29th, so outside of the AP top 25, but the Ken Pom rankings have the Orange at 29th. And what an opportunity that is for Syracuse to go on the road and take on a top 25 team early in this season. Following that, the ACC play. We're not in the Big East anymore. Boston College. And then Buffalo will come to the Dome, and then Notre Dame, and the ACC schedule really gets unfolded at that point. But so a 6-day break here, unless they schedule another one, because some of these are coming in by the minute, some of these games being scheduled in the last couple of days. 6-day break, and then a couple of games pretty consecutive, because you'll play Thursday, then Saturday, and then you'll play on a Tuesday as well. And then following that, it'll be a Saturday. So lots of college basketball for the Syracuse Orange and Syracuse fans coming up. And then tomorrow, it's the Syracuse football team. You and I will be on the call right here on Orange Sheet with Syracuse playing host to NC State. So kudos to the Dome staff, who has to take down the basketball court and get the football field ready for tomorrow, then to do it all again, to turn around and play some more basketball coming up for both the girls and the boys. So kudos to them on their late nights taking apart the Carrier Dome.
And that's all under the stress of COVID as well. And that's why we stress our fans to stay safe, because we want to continue to produce these games for you guys. But we can only do that if these games happen. So obviously, like you said, sometimes the scheduling is on a day-to-day basis. And we saw only a few hours beforehand that we saw Stony Brook's game against Bryant was supposed to be their season opener only a few days ago, was obviously canceled. To see that, you can tell kind of COVID has taken hold of the scheduling so far.
Absolutely. Many games being canceled, both college football, college basketball. You see NFL games being moved. So schedules are flexible. And the unfortunate thing is Buddy Boeheim converts on a free throw, and he hits another. So Syracuse trailing just by 1, Bryant 20, Syracuse 19, 11:46 to go. But the thing with this schedule really is the fact that there's not much room for makeups here, the way that it's built. It's you play a couple of times a week, every couple of days. So it'd be very difficult to make up games. And unfortunately, I think in basketball, you'll see more cancellations than you would in football, where there's a lot more room to make things up. Bryant goes the other way. Syracuse, interesting, not playing a 2-3 zone right now. They are full court pressing, trying to push this tempo, playing the game that Bryant wants to play. So Jim Boeheim, you'll see him do that. You'll see him experiment in the early goings of the season, try some different things, but certainly an interesting tidbit here as Girard takes it up the court to Dolezaj. Dolezaj drives, kicks it out to the left side. Alan Griffin pump fakes, back to Girard, back to Boeheim. Boeheim gives it to Braswell in the corner, and a two-pointer, a long one, goes off the rim and out. Bryant going the other way with it. Now a drive to the middle. Braswell tight defense. A layup goes up and a foul against Braswell. He doesn't like it. He thought that he had all ball on that one.
Yeah, Braswell didn't like that call. I think the young men on the inside, both our forwards and centers like Dolezaj and Guerrier, have done a really good job at keeping their hands straight up in the air to prevent those fouls. And when the ball comes to them, they capitalize. But, that's an iffy call right there. But the more and more college basketball develops into the game that NBA looks like today, you'll see that fouls will be called more often than the inside.
Hall Elysius with the free throws here for Bryant. He's a redshirt senior forward, 6'8", out of Valley Stream, New York. So another New York native, plenty of them on this squad, a lot of them out of the New York City area, a couple from Syracuse, and a couple from other parts of the state. Dolezaj, a drive, a floater is good from the ACC logo, and Syracuse back to within one.
Yeah, Elysius and Pride are one of the or two of the only guys really on this team that have stayed in the starting lineup and not transferred from last year. So, I'm looking forward to the chemistry that this squad will have because it seems much stronger than Syracuse's right now.
Floater no good for Bryant, and Buddy Boeheim throws one away, gives it too hard and high for Alan Griffin to handle. Syracuse turns it over, and that could prove to be costly as we are reaching the 10:45 mark of the first half of action inside the newly renovated dome, and a new court for Syracuse last season, as well as new uniforms. So beautiful. I certainly enjoy them. I love the court. Pay respect to some of the retired numbers along the side. A three-pointer here deep from the top of the key is no good, and Dolezaj with a rebound, taking it the other way. Dolezaj in the corner. Braswell for three, off the mark. Alan Griffin comes in to tip it in. He gets a rebound, and Dolezaj puts a shot up, but it is sent away. What a block there from Hall Elysius. Now a three-pointer in the corner, and it's good. Chris Childs. Elysius to Childs up the court, and Bryant cooking with oil, a 25-21 lead. What a turn of events for the Bulldogs.
Oh, yeah, Bryant continuing their momentum right now, and they have all of it.
Alan Griffin gives it right back to him. A three-pointer there for the transfer out of Illinois. And Syracuse fighting back with a response. Now a fast break here. A drive momentarily is halted. Mello Eggleston looked like he wanted it. Gives it back to Childs at the top. Childs over to Eggleston. Back to Childs. Now right side. Michael Green driving. Back to Eggleston. Pump fake. He's going to drive to the inside. A pass and a dunk. How about this guy, Hall Elysius, the redshirt senior, having himself a great couple of minutes here coming into this game off the bench, Kyle.
Oh, yeah, Elysius trying to play a similar style to Dolezaj, where he gets fed well from the guards on the inside. But the difference between him and Dolezaj is that Elysius can really drive in the paint. He is much larger, much stronger, and when he gets the ball, he forces his way to the rim.
Now for Syracuse, Alan Griffin, a fairly small forward, 6'5" forward, and he looks it on the inside. He's really playing scrappy with some rebounds. That one goes out of bounds. Alan Griffin, a three on the right side. Give it to him. This guy's picking up steam as well. The transfer from Illinois ties the game up at 27 with just under 9 minutes to play, and both teams starting to play electric. Dolezaj takes one away. Guerrier with a lay-in in transition, and Syracuse takes a lead, only their second of the game. Dolezaj closed out on a pass and a phenomenal give up to Guerrier, who's able to lay it in with ease. Now Mello Eggleston driving on Dolezaj. He gets a bucket to go, and the game's back and tied at 29.
Yeah, up and down the court, like I suspected. I believe this game's going to look more like a tennis match than a basketball game. It's just back and forth right now, especially with Bryant's speed up and down the court.
Alan Griffin, a step back pop from the right side, and it's off the rim. Hits off the backboard as well. No good. A rebound here. And a deep three for the Bulldogs. Count it. Chris Childs, the junior guard out of Bronx. The Bronx, New York, a New York City native, nails one. And Bryant leads it 32-29. 8:05 left to play. Jim Boeheim and company calls timeout. And the Bulldogs bench is absolutely electric right now, Kyle.
Yeah, Child's a 6'2" guard. He's a hot shooter right now, and him coming off of the bench is kind of lighting up the spark, but it seems like everyone's getting their fair share of three-pointers for Bryant. They are dead hot right now.
Absolutely. Great play inside right now by Hall Elysius. Very impressed with him. He's a big body on the inside, and he is out physically playing guys like Sidibe and Dolajai on the inside because he simply is stronger, more muscular than them, only standing at 6'8", but 230 pounds. Absolutely incredible. Compare that on the other side. Barama Sidibe, only 218 pounds, but Barama Sidibe has that extra 2 inches. So to be stockier and a little bit shorter can prove to be just as good of a feat with that dunk on the inside and his rebounding skills as well.
And like I said, it's a common narrative in Syracuse that that lack of strength at the center position, sacrifice for a lot more height has always been a problem. We've seen in the past with Pascal Chukwu, he was really unable to produce anything offensively because he had no strength. Him being 7'2", but only about 200 pounds, he lacked that strength that he needed to get on the inside. We see actually the heaviest guy on the team for the Syracuse roster this year is our forward, Quincy Guerrier. He's a 220 pound, 6'9" forward. Whereas Jesse Edwards is one of the younger guys, and he really exemplifies that need for size where he is, he's almost a 7-footer, but he's so small for that position. We need to have more strength on the inside.
Yeah, Barama Sidibe had a great end to last season, playing as one of the best centers in the ACC to finish off their 2019-2020 campaign, a big win over North Carolina to finish off the season in the ACC tournament. So people are excited about him, a guy that hasn't necessarily been what Syracuse needs at the center position, but really ended the season strong. And it's interesting that you say that Quincy Guerrier, the biggest weight on this team. Listening to Jim Boeheim talk in some of the press conferences and podcasts and stuff that he's been a guest on, Guerrier actually lost weight for this season, not by purpose, just hasn't had the opportunities where he was at home to get in the weight room as much as some of the other guys. And you just kind of lose that a little bit. And other guys have put on a lot of weight. Joe Girard has put on almost 20 pounds of strength on him, which Syracuse fans and the staff are elated for. Buddy Boeheim has put on some weight as well as some of the younger guys like Kaderi Richmond. So exciting to see that. That's what you need. You need to have that. You can't just be lanky and long. You also need to have some meat so that you can play physical basketball, especially with the zone. The other thing, these guys are long. The wingspan of Alan Griffin, people are very excited for because he was going to fit very well into that 2-3 zone with that long wingspan.
Yeah, and guys like Girard, who are not necessarily a prototypical Syracuse basketball player, he likes to shoot more than he likes to drive and create opportunities. I like to see that Boeheim is kind of creating these physical opportunities for Girard. And, that's why I think it's even more fundamental that he should start to drive the ball as opposed to shoot it. We know he's a good shooter, but it's not falling right now. So you have to rely on the more fundamental part of the game, driving and creating passing opportunities. You have to be that playmaker for Syracuse if you're going to run their offense.
Yeah, Syracuse cannot live and die by the three. The teams that do that don't see success. And the thing that Syracuse needs to do as well is get back to playing defense. Interesting here, Joe Girard getting his first break. Kaderi Richmond driving the point, drives inside the lane, and he's fouled trying to take one up. The shot is no good, but he will take a trip to the charity stripe. And Kaderi Richmond running the point for the first time. And that was kind of the question. Who's going to be that second point guard for Syracuse when Girard needs a breather? And it looks like it's going to be Kaderi Richmond, the freshman. Richmond's free throw is up and good. Now 30-32, a lead for Bryant. Just under 8 minutes to go. Richmond, second free throw up and good. And that's a strength that Syracuse will need to have this season as well. Free throw shooting. Girard, one of the best in the country, a point where he led the nation in free throw percentage. A foul here. Richmond thought he took it away cleanly. Instead, they give him the foul against Kiss. And Richmond doesn't like it. Boeheim doesn't seem to as well. Syracuse wearing jerseys that sport not only their last name, but the message of equality on the back as well. So Very great to see with the social justice movement taking place in our nation. And these players certainly support that and are activists in that, using their platform of college basketball on a national stage to make a point. Bryant now possessing it. A drive here, off the glass, no good. Rebound here, Kaderi Richmond. Syracuse pushing tempo. Boeheim halts in his tracks. Give it back to Richmond at the top of the key. Dolezaj on the inside. Out to Boeheim on the right. Boeheim wants three. Give him three and give Syracuse the lead. 34-32. Bryant going quick the other way. A three-pointer off the mark. Syracuse has it in transition. Kaderi Richmond on the dribble. Drives inside to Guerrier. Guerrier off the mark. No good. Alan Griffin got the rebound offensively. He's fouled. And Syracuse now in the bonus. So a crazy turn of events there, and Syracuse takes the lead. Jim Boeheim clapping his hands. He loves it, Kyle.
Yeah, Guerrier's been more scrappy on the inside now. I'm not sure what Boeheim has been talking to him about, but I'm sure it's about being more physical, even with the unfortunate circumstance of losing weight in this past offseason. He hasn't really gotten a spark offensively, but he continues to get up there and get the ball and draw those fouls.
Alan Griffin couldn't get the free throw to go, so he won't get a chance at a second one, not in the double bonus just yet. Bryant now trailing by 2 points with the ball, 7 minutes to go in the half. And high scoring here for Syracuse. Typically, sometimes you see them drop lower points, 25, 26, just barely getting 30. There's 7 minutes to go, and Syracuse has 34 points. That's something you like to see. And the offense has been really good last season, and the defense wasn't. So Syracuse needs to improve defensively. Kaderi Richmond with it at the top off a pass from Dolezaj. Dolezaj, great passer in the ACC last season. A drive by Buddy Boeheim, kisses it off the glass, no good. And now a great rebound here, moving quickly is Michael Green. Green drives in, and one foul for the Bulldogs, and he'll have a chance for a three-point play and a lead. So back and forth we go, quick tempo up the court. Michael Green III, a sophomore guard, only 5'11" out of the Bronx, but a huge play out of him, getting the rebound, taking it coast to coast up against Kaderi Richmond.
And like we said, there's a lack of size in that Bryant squad, but that can mean a lot more with the athleticism on the inside for the paint. You see Green driving in, barely 5'11", and he had that ball on a string, hooking it around the large Guerrier on the inside.
Green's free throw is no good, so we'll remain tied with 6.5 minutes to go. Buddy Boeheim gives it back to Richmond at the top, over to Alan Griffin. Now Richmond, pass to the inside. Dolezaj will take a jumper, kisses it off the glass. The bank is open for Marek Dolezaj, developing that jump shot from the ACC logo, a two-pointer. Now Mello Eggleston driving in on Dolezaj. He misses a layup, fighting for the rebound. Guerrier has it and controls it for the Orange, and Syracuse takes the possession back. Alan Griffin drives in, gives it back. Marek Dolezaj, count the and one.
Yeah, when Dolezaj gets rolling offensively, so does the rest of the team. If you got guys on the inside who can produce offensively, Syracuse feels like the pressure is off of those guards who are so top heavy when it comes to the offense.
It looked like one ref wanted a whistle, the other one didn't agree, so there is no foul, but Marek Dolezaj gives Syracuse its largest lead of the night so far, 5.5 minutes to go. Buddy Boeheim now on the left side, back to Richmond at the front of the court. Now into Dolezaj. Boeheim, tightly guarded by Michael Green, driving, kicks it back to Richmond. Richmond over to Griffin, a step back three for him, way off the mark, and a great box out job there. Guerrier simply could not get to the ball because Charles Pride was boxing him out along the back touchline there, and he just simply couldn't reach the ball. So a great play out of Charles Pride, and because of that, they will be awarded the possession. Kyle, what'd you see out of that Syracuse offensive set?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously not really a shot that you need to take right there. It's something that prototypically Boeheim will not be happy about. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him get taken out soon for a shot like that. Step back from the elbow. No need to take that when you can slow down the offense and, get into the paint.
Michael Green III, a three, and he brings Bryant within one. The three-point shooting for the Bulldogs has been sensational so far in this first half. Over to Girard on the side. He's back in the game now. And just like you said, Alan Griffin gets taken out. Boeheim on the drive. Kicks it back to the inside. He was looking for his teammate Frank Anselim, who's getting his first burn in a Syracuse orange jersey, but it was taken away. Michael Green now penetrating. A kick over. And lobbed up a dunk. Wow. Peter Kiss lobs it up to Hall Elysius, who jams it in. That's his second dunk of the night, and it gives Bryant the lead. 4:15 left to play. And as I was saying, Frank Anseline with his first burn in a Syracuse jersey. Gerard wants three off the mark, and a rebound here by Alicius.
Yeah, everybody's getting on the court tonight for Syracuse, and back to Bryant with the ball up at the top of the key now. I'd like to, notify the fact that Bryant being more of a sporadic offense, less consistent than Syracuse, you realize that when they're hot, they're hot. There's no denying the athletic ability on either of these squads, as we see Boeheim scolding one of his players right now.
Yeah, Boeheim's letting the freshman, Kaderi Richmond, hear it, and you'll see that. That's Jim Boeheim, but he brings out the best in his players. And actually listening to a podcast called the Scorer's Table Podcast. It's hosted by former Syracuse basketball player and SU legend Eric Devendorf. He had Boeheim on and Mike Hopkins on, and he also had Jerry McNamara on. So he has Syracuse legends on for each segment, and it's really cool because the connection with them, you can't get anywhere else. They have stories and experiences that you just can't speak of unless you're a part of the actual Syracuse program inside the locker room playing for Boeheim. So his stories with his guests are absolutely incredible, and they've spoken about those chances to get yelled at by coach, and even though he can scold you on the sideline, he makes you better. One of the best coaches in the country, no question, entering his 45th season under the Orange.
Oh yeah, one of the best all time, and you really don't have to be a fan to realize that he runs a tight ship. So no disrespect to the podcast, but just by looking at it first glance, you know that Boeheim is a very strict dictator of this basketball team. So, that's kind of the way he runs it. He runs things his own way, and he's always been like that. He plays that 2-3 zone, and he's always been like that. So obviously more of a traditionalist when it comes to basketball, but he runs things his way.
Absolutely. Another cool thing with the podcast is a lot of guys, talked about the opportunities that coach has given him. Jerry McNamara, he runs his tight ship, but the way he does that is by allowing the other coaches to grow. Boeheim, really gives opportunities, very tight-knit inside his community, his program. Look at his two head assistants are former players of him, Adrian Autry, and of course, on the other side, you have Jerry McNamara, and then below them as well, you have Alan Griffin. So, but not the player either, the assistant coach who also played for Syracuse back in the day. Mike Hopkins was a former player. So his former players come back to coach with them, and you don't see that anywhere else in the country. It's really something.
Yeah, I mean, it's a storied program. I mean, when players have their years there, they come back to support it.
Absolutely. I saw Eric Devendorf on the staff for a short amount of time. Then he pursued another opportunity in coaching. And talking about Eric Devendorf, incredible story, inspiring the community right now, helping in every way he can. Did a jacket drive for winter coats for kids in need in the Syracuse area a few years back, and did a couple years in a row. Now with his podcast, he has a coaching, basically a business, but he really inspires young basketball players, young athletes, and coaches them up. Puts out videos every week of coaching tips and everything like that. So Eric Devendorf, certainly just one of those products to come out of Syracuse and be greater good in the area, even from Detroit, has really made Syracuse his second home. So that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, growing up a Syracuse basketball fan like both of us did, we know that, Syracuse basketball has its own lore and culture and stuff like that, but it's not just a basketball team, it's a community. And you really sense that through watching them and, maybe even going to the Dome and watching these games yourself.
Absolutely. Bryant with only 3 starters returning on the entire team, which is actually pretty good. But you mentioned it, a lot of transfers on this squad for the Bulldogs, and they lost 9 guys due to either COVID-19 reasons or transfers out of the program. So really every year they're, kind of formulating a new squad and playing with what they have, and COVID-19 certainly didn't help. A 3 off the mark on the right side. Gerard a rebound, kicks it to Anseline. He gives it. Alan Griffin wanted a 3 from the corner. It's off the mark. Guerrier fights for the rebound, and he's stuffed off the backboard. What a block there. Boeheim still keeps it in play. Guerrier tips it back. Griffin wanted a dunk, and oh my goodness, Hull Alicius cannot let the Orange score. 2 big stuffs. Alan Griffin wanted a posterizing dunk. Alicius said absolutely not, and he swats Guerrier's layup off the backboard. That looks like an NBA caliber play. Dikembe Mutombo style saying, not in my house. And Alan Griffin pulls up for a 3 for Syracuse. So Bryant led it for a second. Now Syracuse ties it back up 41-41, under 3 minutes to go. But Hall Aleseus having himself a game. A drive to the inside and an and one. Bryant with the lead again. Count it. Charles Pride, the sophomore guard, 6'4", 185, playing in his hometown, Syracuse, New York, puts in the and one, and he'll have a chance at the free throw line. What a play.
Yeah, Bryant's going to continue this momentum. And, with only 2.5 to go in this first half, we're going to see if Bryant can really make it to that halftime with the same type of score going. It's kind of been back and forth, but Bryant has really had the better of it.
A high-scoring first half. Bryant out of the NEC Conference, picked to finish third. Free throw is up and good. So the lead extended to 3 for the Bulldogs. 2:45 left to play in the first half. And this is a game that has gone quickly, and the tempo has gone quickly. Dolezaj in transition. Both teams pressing, and it's taken away. A steal for Michael Green III. Gives it to him. A 3-point try. Off the mark. Guerrier comes in for the rebound.
Yeah, you see Dolezaj kind of peeling off of that guard from the wing right there and letting him shoot it. Maybe they have studied before, but maybe Green isn't that good of a shooter, and it seems like he maybe isn't. He's better at driving on the inside, so just some small stuff like that Dolezaj is doing. But I'd like to see a better effort out of him because so far he has had a very poor offensive and defensive output.
The interesting thing is he's really possessing the ball a lot for Syracuse in transition. As he misses a contested layup inside, he just can't seem to get the lid off the bucket so far tonight. Kick out, pump fake. Michael Green pump fakes it again, kicks it to the left side. Now a lob inside, and the dunk is off the mark, but Hall Aleseus almost had another big one. Boeheim wants 3. Another one off the mark. Going the other way, the Syracuse native takes it. Charles Pride in transition. Kick out. Pump fake. Off the drive. Now a 3-pointer from the top of the key, and count it. Bryant, their biggest lead of the game. It's a lead of 6. And a huge bucket there for Chris Childs.
Now, we may not see it here, but I'd like to see Syracuse slow down the game as Girard takes another unneeded shot from the top of the key. I'd like to see Syracuse slow down the game and play to their tempo. I mean, Boeheim is not controlling the pace of the game whatsoever. This is nothing like the prototypical Syracuse squad that you see. And coming out of this halftime with a minute to have to go here in this first half, I'd like to see Syracuse play to their style. Play that 2-3 zone, get set up early. You don't have to do that full court press, although it worked in moments. And offensively, drive the ball more often. I mean, you like to see guys shoot, but Boeheim and Girard do not need to shoot the ball from that deep in transition. There's no need for that. It's just a poor shot selection. All those guys are more comfortable on the court with Boeheim's squad. They continue to put up shots that are unneeded.
Couldn't agree with you more. A couple misses going back and forth from 3-point line. Guerrier missed one. Not his strong suit last year, in a drive here and a bucket. Bryant extending their lead. The Cuse native, Charles Pride, having himself a great couple of minutes here in the final moments of the first half. They lead Syracuse by 8. Kick out to Boeheim. Deciding what to do with it. Tightly guarded by Pride. Now a give to Guerrier on the right side. Syracuse really trying to slow down the pace here, it seems, offensively. Boeheim gets stripped. In transition. Kisses it off the glass. Peter Kiss, with a nice take in transition, stole it away out of the hands of Boeheim and extends the lead for 10. 10 points ahead of the Orange are the Bulldogs. 5 seconds to go. Boeheim for 3 at the end of the half. He makes it. And that will do it for the end of the half. 1 has been played at the Dome. Bryant leads at 51-44. Boeheim with a 3, nearly a buzzer beater for Syracuse, but the momentum has swung completely in favor of the Bulldogs. And their head coach, Jared Grasso, in his 3rd year, absolutely loves it. What a win this could be for the Bulldogs here. And this team is playing fantastic basketball. How about Hall Aleseus? If you had to pick an MVP of the first half, Kyle, who is it? I think I'm going with the big man, number 34, Hall Aleseus, the redshirt senior, the forward on the inside.
Oh, yeah, Aleseus has looked great offensively and defensively. A lack of fouls on the inside for him, which is awesome to see because especially with Syracuse, a team that's more prone to fouling, especially in unneeded times. That's something that Boeheim may be jealous of right now as a big man who can really control himself on the inside and produce stuff offensively. And, another guy that's kind of unheard of or, needs more touches on that Bryant squad. I like Michael Green Jr. or the third, excuse me. He's not a great shooter, but he's so quick and he has that ball in a string. I think he'd be more of a playmaker, but of course he could put the ball up in the inside, as we saw in that one drive on that fast break against Guerrier. And also, I really like both Kiss and Pride kind of controlling the pace of the offense right now. Both of them hit the shots that they need to. Whereas, kind of their counterparts like Dolezaj, when he gets on the inside, he's missed a lot of open shots right now. And there you see that lack of practice under the Syracuse belt with only one so far before this game, really affecting even the small and routine plays for this Syracuse squad.
Absolutely. Peter Kiss, a redshirt junior guard, 6'5", 200 pounds, out of New York City area. Notre Dame prep guy, which is a well-known, kind of franchise. There's a lot of Notre Dame preps across the country. But if you come from one of those schools, you're certainly a high-quality basketball player and also a product out of Rutgers, transferring from Rutgers, a team that's in the top 25 right now in the college basketball landscape. So nonetheless, a large lead here for the Bryant Bulldogs in the first half of action. They're playing fantastic basketball. Syracuse really has not had the opportunity to control the pace whatsoever offensively, and Bryant has simply run away with it. Syracuse likes to play slow, a lot more methodical, and Bryant's just simply not letting them. They're pressing, and the interesting thing is that Syracuse is pressing on the other side as well. But we'll take a break here after one half of play. Kyle, any final thoughts on the first half of action?
Yeah, I'd like to see Syracuse, slow down the game and try and control the pace at their will. It's very rare that you see, especially younger coaches like Gross, control the pace of the game against a veteran like Boeheim. Boeheim usually can get control of his younger players and make sure that they run it the way that he wants it. Like we said, he runs a tight ship. So coming out of this half, I'd like to see Girard and Boeheim take smarter shots, driving the inside and kick it out to their wings like Griffin and see if they could put up better shots, or maybe just, draw fouls and, draw out the points. And, that's why their games are usually lower scoring. They drive in the inside. It's more drawn out with the fouls and stuff like that. And they create more 3-point plays, but not necessarily 3-point shooting opportunities, but through and ones and good passing opportunities on the inside.
Absolutely. So we'll take a break here in the booth. Syracuse trailing to the Bryant Bulldogs 51-44 in the first half of action. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here. Thank you so much for joining us on Orange Heat, and we'll be back. Bryant leads it over the Orange in the Dome, 51-44. Welcome back inside the Dome, and Syracuse. A man on Bryant on the floor. We apologize for the kind of delayed comeback here, just about 30 seconds into the game. The TV stream did not give much of a warning. It just got right back to the action out of a commercial break. All of a sudden, they were playing. So we do apologize, but welcome back inside the Dome. You're listening live to Orange Heat, Giovanni Heater, alongside Kyle Marchak. Syracuse trails Bryant 51-44. Very unfortunate. You never like to see a player hurt, and unfortunately, it's Mello Eggleston, the redshirt junior guard out of Maryland, who's had himself a nice game in the first half, and he's down on the court, Kyle. So what does Syracuse have to do to get back into this game? They're not out of it by any means, but Bryant certainly not only controlling the pace of this game, but controlling the scoreboard as well. It's still a tight one, and they went on a nice 8-0 run at the end of the first half to really stretch this lead a little bit. But they're being outplayed, and they're outplaying Syracuse right now, the Orange being outplayed by the Bulldogs. So what does SU have to do?
Oh, yeah, certainly. I mean, they're absolutely getting played, athletically. The speed up and down the court of Bryant is fantastic. So they're turning it into their type of game, which is kind of a tennis match, just back and forth. But Syracuse needs to slow down the game and have much better shot selection. We see guys who are supposed to be running the offense, like Joe Girard and Buddy Boeheim, who are hooking up shots in transition from deep, 25 plus feet. That is blatantly poor shot selection, especially when you're down. You need to slow the game down, especially with more than a half to go, like they were. They have plenty of time to slow the game down, drive into the paint, and create opportunities for their other friends. You need to be a really selfless basketball player. But when you see them play hero ball, like you were mentioning earlier, we're seeing guys huck up shots that are unneeded. Joe Girard needs to man this offense, call for pick and rolls, drive into the paint, and create more opportunities.
Couldn't agree with you more, Kyle. The Orange back with it, and the game is back on. Boeheim pulls up a three off the front rim and out. Guerrier with a rebound, and there's one of those shots that you were talking about that you don't want to see. A jump ball here. Tying up that time with Guerrier was Hall Elysius, and he's had himself a phenomenal game in the first half. Boeheim, the inbound pass. Back to Girard at the front of the court, over to Alan Griffin. Griffin with some dribbling moves, and he loses it, gets his pocket picked, a transition pass up the court, and off the glass it goes in. Peter Kiss. Kiss is another one off the bank, and they continue to extend this lead. It's a 9-point advantage for the Bryant Bulldogs. Syracuse back with it. Dolajai, a spin move, tries to get the layup to go. He's fouled in the process, and he'll take a trip to the free throw line. Syracuse now trailing 9 points, 18:51 to go in the second half, and the Orange need to get things rolling. It's a high-scoring affair, but Syracuse has not been able to play at the pace that they typically like. An interesting thing to see, Kyle, we mentioned it a couple times, the Orange pressing right now, really not playing too much 2-3 zone in the first half. Do you think they'll try and get back to that?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think they should, because with that, they're able to slow the game down more. When they press up top for Bryant, Bryant feels even more rushed than they're already playing. So that speeds up the game defensively for them. And that means if they get a ball or a turnover, that means the game's going a lot faster in transition as well. And when we see Syracuse connect well in transition, they're obviously at their peak, but they first need to connect well offensively, by slowing the game down. So there's just some small things that they need to get correct right now, like Dolajai is forcing up shots on the inside, and obviously he drew that foul there. That was good by him to drive to the rim, but he continues to, miss shots either slightly contested or not contested at all, as we've seen, unfortunately. So Dolajai really kind of a centerpiece for this offense, or, he's supposed to be at least being on the inside. He's fed well from the guards like Boeheim and Girard.
So a three is off the mark here for the Bulldogs. Girard taking it quickly in transition. Boeheim gets it knocked away, and out of bounds it'll go off the fingertips of Michael Green III. Syracuse will keep the possession. Dolajai hit some free throws, and it's a 53-46 lead now for Bryant. 18-18 left to play on the clock in the second half of action. And it's a high-scoring affair for both squads right now. Boeheim will inbound it. Referees having a conversation here.
Yeah, Bryant last year in the regular season averaged over 70 points a game, about 71, I believe. So to see them almost inching into the 60-point territory here at the beginning of the second half, you know that this is a very high scoring affair, especially for both teams, as Syracuse, usually more of a defensively minded team, also does not score as often.
Boeheim with a nice drive, and he pulls up from 2-point range and hits one. Girard takes it away. It goes the other way, but now Bryant takes it right back, and a three-pointer. Peter Kiss drills one, nothing but net, and Bryant now leading it by 8 points, 56-48. Dolezaj on the inside, a pump fake, turning on Halicius. A drive, and Halicius just stuffs Merrick Dolezaj, taking it the other way. Michael Green III driving on Griffin, kisses it off the glass, no good. But Halicius is there to jam it in. That's one of many dunks tonight. And Bryant now a 10-point lead over Syracuse on their home court.
Yeah, Alicius right there with a huge putback. I mean, really emphatic play right there. He's even getting those putbacks right there, Obviously a rebounding guy on the inside for them, but so offensively minded. He's really been a star tonight.
Bryant leading by 10, now with the ball back. Michael Green gives it over to the left side. Now Green at the top. From the corner, Peter Kiss. That one's off the mark, but a great rebound there and sticking it right back. A 12-point advantage. Charles Pride extends the lead for the Bulldogs off the offensive rebound. Not a Syracuse jersey in sight. He had no trouble with that one. Didn't even have to touch the ground and go back up with it. He simply caught it and put it right back on a lay-in. So Bryant, a 60-48 advantage over the Orange. Sorry, Kyle.
Hey, no worries. But, no jump stop needed right there, which is really unfortunate because Guerrier needs to be boxing out when he sees that shot put up. So obviously with those lack of practices under the Syracuse Orangemen's belt, you see some of the small things that are supposed to be routine in the back of the mind of these basketball players not happening. The basic finishing skills in Dolezaj or boxing out for Guerrier. As a matter of fact, he's been boxed out. We were talking about some of the small things that Charles Pride for Bryant was doing. He was boxing out on balls, going out of bounds and shots like that. And he's a guard boxing out guys like Guerrier who are supposed to be the biggest on this Syracuse squad. So some of those small things we need to get going for Syracuse.
Now, one of the questions coming in today, Kyle, for both of us and really all of Orange Nation was, how is this lack of practice going to affect this team? They were actually put in a pretty fortunate situation. They came in July, and they've been playing basketball together since that point, a very early time frame, really, to come in during the summer and play. But then these last 10 days or so, the Orange have not been able to practice. They've not been able to really truly game plan physically for this Bryant matchup. Of course, they had Zoom meetings and did everything they could virtually, like we're doing right now, but unable to truly prepare on the court physically for this Bryant team. So clearly that's having an impact.
Yeah, some of those small skills are what we're missing right now, like I mentioned just earlier briefly. But one big thing is the mental lapses that are created and missing those practices in those past 10 days or so. I mean, obviously with the absence of Boeheim briefly because of COVID-19, glad that he recovered quickly. There's some mental things that you're going to have to question, just how good or strong is this identity of the team. I know personally as a high school athlete, just as you are, because of COVID and because of the trials we had early in the season as a young soccer player, I know that the lack of identity in a team is extremely, fundamental. You need to have that identity to know how your team plays, what each player curates to as an athlete, and how will it affect the game.
No, absolutely, Kyle. And how about give credit where it's due? The Bryant Bulldogs playing nearly perfect basketball right now. Charles Pride's been phenomenal on the outside as a guard. And then how about Hall Alicius? Just dominant, a force on the inside. We talked about it. We thought Syracuse had the advantage here, not only with height, but possibly physicality. I mean, we said that this should be a game that the Syracuse big men should really run away with and dominate on the inside. Hasn't been the case. Number 34 in black, Hall Alicius, is having himself a phenomenal going today.
Yeah, Hall Alicius does all the right things. He kind of reminds me of an Isaiah Stewart from last year at Washington with Mike Hopkins, one of the only other universities that plays at 2-3. Of course, Hopkins working under Boeheim briefly. Offensively on the inside, he does all the small things correctly. He'll box out if he needs to. He plays okay in the post, but, obviously being more of an offensively minded center, just like Isaiah Stewart was last year before he got drafted in the first round to the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah, Michael Green III's been phenomenal as well. Melo Eggleston was hot early. Hope to see him come back into this game. He went out with an injury. Didn't seem to be too severe. Chris Childs has hit a couple of big shots, and you certainly have liked what you've seen out of Peter Kiss.
Yeah, Kiss has also done all the small things right. When he gets the opportunity, he capitalizes, but so does the rest of the starting lineup for Bryant. I mean, we've even seen guys off the bench like Michael Green capitalize on the right opportunities. That ball really, or that guy really handles the ball on a string. It's small things like that that'll continue to, push the momentum up the game for Bryant, who's up by 12 right now against Syracuse.
Now Syracuse. Gerard, a three from the left side, off the front rim. That's been the story, but Guerrier with a nice tip in, and Syracuse within 10. Bryant taking it the other way. Michael Green, the third, with it at the top. Gives it over to Kiss, now to the left side. Pride, pump fakes. Almost loses his footing. Gives it back up to Green. Green with the drive, and it's tipped away. It looks like Syracuse says they have it. The referees beg to differ, so it'll be an inbound pass here for Peter Kiss.
Yeah, almost another turnover there, and I'd be curious to see how many turnovers each squad has had because, obviously Bryant has had some messy plays handling the ball. You see them kick it around a little bit, but obviously so has Syracuse. This has been a really chaotic game, and Bryant really threw themselves up the court all game in that first half, and they're continuing to do so here.
Now pump fake, Kiss. Up to the top, Childs. Now driving with it, Michael Green. A floater. Rolls around the rim. It goes out momentarily. A nice rebound here. And the Bulldogs have it with a fresh shot clock. Peter Kiss from the top of the key. Count it. What a three-point shot for Peter Kiss, and he loves it. The bench for Bryant going crazy. And they have all the momentum right now. A 13-point lead over Syracuse. And something needs to happen quickly here if the Orange want to come back in this game.
Yeah, largest lead of the night, and a blowout for Bryant right now would be awesome, obviously, but terrible mentally for Syracuse to start out on what's supposed to be a tune-up game and get absolutely dismantled. I mean, Bryant's opening up all the opportunities and totally exposing this 2-3 zone right now, and it seems that every team that plays well against a 2-3 has success against Syracuse for obvious reasons.
Boeheim responds with a nice lay-in. Tightly contested, and he was able to get it to go. So Syracuse back within 11. Another three-pointer. Childs off the back rim and out. Offensive rebound out to Michael Green, the third. He'll take a deep three. This one off the back rim, and Syracuse dodges two bullets there. Rebound there. Alan Griffin gives it up to Gerard. A pass to the left side. Dolezaj gives it up. Now a pass to the middle goes way wide. Bryant will take it back, and Alan Griffin looking for Quincy Guerrier, and he couldn't get it anywhere close. Hucks it out of bounds. Jim Boeheim furious right now, and Bryant, all the momentum, an 11-point advantage.
Yeah, I think the fate is looking very dim for Syracuse right now. They're only down by 11, but they're usually more of a consistently scoring team. So if they can get rolling, that's awesome. But you don't see a lot of comebacks for a squad that only scores in small spurts despite their consistency.
And I think to, add one to it with you, I think that Syracuse is struggling to stop Bryant right now. Bryant almost having ease, not only hitting their shots, but they've been able to push it to the inside when they want to as well. And Syracuse hasn't gotten these defensive stops. It's a high-scoring game, and the defense is struggling right now. And, the zone has not been all that effective.
No, yeah, I mean, the manning from Bryant has looked great defensively. I mean, they know where everyone is and what they're supposed to do. Obviously, on the inside, they really know how to play Guerrier right now, who's really struggled. And same for Dolezaj. They get really handsy with a guy like Dolezaj without drawing a foul. And he seems to, get frightened under the pressure. Him being a large forward and not as strong, he really struggles with the speed on the inside. And, when he gets shots, he kind of goes on a streak, but otherwise he's been really dry offensively.
Now, Alan Griffin with 9 points and 6 rebounds in his Orange debut. And that's kind of been the story a little bit for Syracuse. The rebounds is what I'm looking at. He's had some nice plays rebounding the ball. He's a smaller forward, a little bit lanky, not a ton of size on him, but he's come away with some big ones. 7 now on the game after getting one in the second half. Buddy Boeheim leads the team in scoring, 17 points, only 6 for 13 from the field. So you need to see more out of all these squads right now. Michael Green, the third, playing great, and the leading scorer right now is Childs for Bryant, 5 for 7 from the field.
Yeah, it's all about consistency and momentum right now for Syracuse. You need to see it swing in their favor. With only 10-plus minutes left in this last half, this is kind of dire moments for Syracuse.
Absolutely. Now, Kyle here, I want to thank you for coming on. I know that you unfortunately have to leave us here, and I'll be closing out the game because you have to attend to your real job. This is going to be our job someday. That's the dream and the goal. But for now, we must find other ways. Still high school students and our senior year, Kyle. I know you have to go, so I just want to thank you so much for joining me. And you can catch Kyle back here tomorrow calling Syracuse football for NC State and the Orange in the Dome. But Kyle, again, always, it's a phenomenal blast. I love having you. And we really kind of made this connection, done a lot of games together between school and now doing a bunch here. So it's been a blast. You're extremely talented, and it's so much fun, man.
Thank you, and the same for you, and we'll continue to do so throughout the rest of this year and maybe even in college. So I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. It's a great production you have going here, even through Zoom due to unfortunate circumstances. But, off to my other business inquiries, and thank you for having me. Excuse me.
Yeah, absolutely, Kyle. Thanks again. It's been a blast. So if you give one more final sign off, that's totally cool, and you'll see the people tomorrow.
Yeah, Syracuse better turn it around. Have a great night, Gio.
You too, man. So that does it for Kyle, and I'll be taking you the rest of the way here. Syracuse looking to make a big comeback. As I said, Kyle has to go off to his other obligations in the workforce. But Bryant here with a huge lead over Syracuse, 63-52. You'll see Kyle tomorrow for NC State versus Syracuse football. Can't wait for that one. But right now, the Orange with a tall task, down 11 against the Bryant Bulldogs. Michael Green, the third at the top, gives it up to the left side. Bryant just kind of passing it back and forth, chewing a little bit of clock. A nice floater here. Peter Kiss off the mark. Rebound, Alan Griffin. And Joe Girard will take it the other way. Girard gives it back to Boeheim. Dolezaj coming up to set the screen. Boeheim nearly loses the ball. Now a pass to the inside. Dolezaj. Guerrier's wide open, and he gets the dunk to go. It was highly contested there by Hall Elysius. Guerrier wasn't sure if the ball went in. He laid it back. The referee said, well, it went in once already. No foul called. Syracuse now within 9. So the referee and the coach talking about it on both teams. A little bit of high confusion here. Pass to the inside, deflected away, intended for Elysius, off the mark. And now Syracuse with a chance to continue to grow this lead a little bit tighter. Guerrier, a dunk on the inside. Back-to-back big plays out of the sophomore from Canada, Quincy Guerrier. Playing some good basketball now, Syracuse. Back into this game, 63-56, and a 4-point swing for the Orange there. Michael Green III gives it off to Childs at the top of the key. Fancy dribbling here out of Childs. Over to Peter Kiss. Kiss, pass to the inside. Fade away. Bank is no good. Guerrier, a rebound. He's fouled. And the call goes against the Bulldogs. So Guerrier with some big rebounds here and a tough foul there against the Bulldogs. Nathaniel Stokes had a huge shot at it off the backboard, and it just swirls around the net, unable to drop. And Syracuse catching a couple of breaks here. Quincy Guerrier has been the story in the last couple of minutes. And Syracuse back into this game, 63-56, 13-18 left to go. Girard wide open, pump fakes a three, tries to drive to the inside, kicks it back out. Alan Griffin off the dribble. That shot's no good. Great boxing out here by Michael Green III. Dolezaj couldn't get to a rebound, and it's Green III driving to the inside. A floater, money. Michael Green III having himself a phenomenal game here tonight, and the lead is back to 9. 12:55 left to play. Buddy Boeheim over to Joe Girard. Back into Dolezaj. Dolezaj, spin move, tightly guarded, forces one up, and he gets fouled. The bucket doesn't count. No good. Didn't get it to fall. Nonetheless, he's going to have an opportunity for 2 free throws. 65-56 advantage for Bryant. 2 free throws could go a long way here for Marek Dolezaj if he can get him to go. First one's up. Good. Syracuse needs to get some stops defensively. Michael Green III has other words to say about it, certainly, with some huge stops. And buckets, that is. Dolezaj. Free throw, good. So Syracuse, 65-58, trailing the Bryant Bulldogs. 12:54 to go. Michael Green III at the top of the key. Gives it off to Childs. Back to Michael Green. Kiss with a pump fake, fakes the pass. Green at the top. Now driving his Childs. Driving on Dolezaj. Nearly forced out. A nice pass to the middle, but it's coughed up. Alan Griffin on the drive. Kiss tightly guarding. And Alan Griffin gets it to go. What an athletic layup out of Alan Griffin, the transfer from Illinois, playing in his first game in a white Syracuse jersey. A phenomenal job by Alan Griffin. Michael Green III. Three's no good from the top of the key. Guerrier with the rebound. Gerard to Boeheim on the left side. Pass to the inside. Guerrier gets one to go. And now Syracuse gets it to a 3-point game. Timeout called for the Bryant Bulldogs. Now they're sharing the ball. They're getting defensive stops. Bryant forcing some things. And Syracuse back to a one-possession game. Just under 12 minutes to go. What a nice set and sequence of events for the Orange as they take themselves right back into this game. Boeheim was big there with a nice assist to Guerrier on the inside, but Guerrier certainly has been the story, getting some defensive rebounds and really being a force on the inside, stepping up when Syracuse needs it here late in this game. Interesting to see how Bryant will respond. Syracuse, the more talented team. Michael Green III has been the driving force for the Bulldogs here so far in the second half. Alan Griffin has played decently for the Orange here in his first game, wearing a Syracuse jersey. As it's a TV timeout at the stadium. And just to talk about it, a couple of things here. You know, Syracuse coming into this game, adding some non-conference scheduled games, which is nice to see. A couple of them coming up here in the near future. Niagara on Thursday. And then Saturday, it'll be Ryder taking a trip to the Dome. Then you have the ACC Big Ten Challenge. So the schedule doesn't get any easier. I think Bryant is the toughest team out of Ryder and Niagara. But then you have to go play the 24th ranked Rutgers Scarlet Knights on the road here in the very near future. Just a couple of weeks away. Bryant picked to finish third in the NEC Northeast Conference, and they've certainly lived up to that hype today. If they can contest with a team like Syracuse like that and really dominate this game for the later portion of it, they could be a huge force in their conference this season. Looking at the possibility of being an NCAA tournament team, that's really the level of basketball they're playing right now. They share the ball well. Everyone on their team has the capability to take it to the bucket, and they have a big man that can contribute huge, and it's Hall Elysius on the inside, redshirt senior forward. I know I've talked about him a lot today, but that's something you don't see as a Syracuse observer, that they don't have that dominant force on the inside for the Bulldogs. That's been Elysius, and he's been unstoppable. Syracuse has not been able to contain him on the interior. As I said, tomorrow it'll be Syracuse and NC State football, a live stream here on Orange Heat. Kyle Marchak and I back on the call for some Syracuse football, and they're having a very difficult season this year. 1-8 on the year, a tough loss on the road at Louisville, their last go-around, 30-0. Marchak and I were on the call for that, and that was a tough one to watch. It was a tough one to call. And with no problem, it was a huge pull away for Louisville. So they're getting things back going. The huddles still continue here, but the TV broadcast is back on the ACC network. Quincy Guerrier, been huge in the final minutes. Interesting to see how Bryant will adjust to that. If Elysius will play physical ball on the inside and not allow Syracuse to penetrate. That's what he's done well today, but Guerrier has elevated his play. Syracuse returns 4 starters, losing Elijah Hughes and really trying to fill that void is the question mark this year. Really swinging the ball now is Bryant as we get back. 12 minutes left to play. 65-62 advantage for Bryant. It's a 3-point game. Michael Green drives in and a foul is called on the floor. It goes against Syracuse. Boeheim doesn't seem to like it. Not a shooting foul. Jared Grasso, what a huge win this would be for his program and the Bryant Bulldogs. Michael Green gives it up. Peter Kiss with a pump fake. Hurtado trying to drive. Now back to Kiss. Hurtado, three-pointer. And that is good. Nothing but net. Back to a 6-point game and 2 possessions, 2 big ones for Syracuse, and the Bryant Bulldogs come out hot after the break. Now Guerrier on the inside. Pump fake. Kiss tightly guarding him. Guerrier gets one to go. Physical play out of Quincy Guerrier. He's been huge for Syracuse late. Michael Green, a floater. This one drops. So pushing the pace once again now are the Bulldogs, not pressing on Syracuse, but offensively playing fast, and Michael Green catches the Orange off guard. It's back to a 6-point advantage. Dolezaj on the inside. Back to Boeheim. Girard with the drive. Girard couldn't get one to go. Guerrier trying to get the rebound. Tipped around by everybody, and it goes out of bounds off the hands, that time of Luis Hurtado Jr. I thought it went off Girard, but the ref begs to differ, and Syracuse will certainly take that one. Joseph Girard III has not scored yet today, not a single point. Pass to the inside. Alan Griffin stuffed at the rim, couldn't get it to go. Bryant with it, and out of bounds they go. No call. I certainly thought his foot stepped out of bounds. Michael Green III couldn't get one to fall on a contested layup. Still a 6-point game. Girard going the other way with it. Boeheim over to Dolezaj. Dolezaj on the drive. Kicks it out. Girard wide open 3 on the right side. Off the back rim and out. A foul on the interior. And it's going the other way. The foul offensively off the ball on Merrick Dolezaj. Dolezaj with the drive. And it's an offensive foul just as he's passing it away. A great job that time by Luis Hurtado Jr. to really get his feet set, take the charge. And now Bryant back with it, a 6-point advantage, 10 minutes to go. Swings one to the inside. Michael Green III driving. Dolezaj's there. A kick out to the left side. Childs wants 3 off the mark. And Joe Girard with the rebound. Girard over to Alan Griffin. Now the corner. Boeheim, wide open 3. Off the mark. Back rim. Guerrier down on the ground and hurt. That was a tough fall for Guerrier. His legs got buckled up underneath him. Taking a tumble with him also on the ground is Peter Kiss, the redshirt junior, who's played well tonight. And that doesn't look good for Syracuse. Guerrier, certainly an awkward fall. Physical play on the inside. Just got tripped up. His leg got buckled up, not only underneath him, but underneath Kiss as well. Boeheim conversing with the refs. 6-point advantage for Bryant, 70-64 over Syracuse, 9:55 left to play in the second half. Girard shaking his head a little bit here, certainly frustrated, held scoreless thus far. Guerrier back up, no problem, into the game. Alan Griffin pumps fakes a 3. Pass to the inside. Dolezaj spin move. He likes to do it, and he gets a nice floater to go. Merrick Dolezaj brings it to a 4-point game. 9:41 left to play. Bryant playing quickly. Michael Green III, that's the man you want to have with the ball. Over to Hurtado. Hurtado at the top of the key. Pass to the inside. Peter Kiss. Now a lazy pass goes up. Michael Green III tried to control it, and a foul against Michael Green III. He's shaking his head. I thought they were going to call it off Girard, and it goes against Bryant. Syracuse with it now down 4. Girard able to soak that one at midcourt. And Girard to start with it. Top of the key. Syracuse slowing down this game. Boeheim wanted to pull up 3. Tightly contested. Michael Green. Boeheim back to Girard. A deep 3 for Girard off the rim. Guerrier tried to be there for the rebound, but nonetheless, it was Charles Pride. Pride driving. Childs. Corner 3. Pump fakes. Now driving to the inside. Childs gets it to go, and the foul. What a play out of Charles Pride. And the Bryant bench loves it. An and 1 for the Bulldogs, and they extend the lead once again. Now to 6, a chance to make it 7. Childs has come up big for the Bulldogs when they need it. Great kiss off the glass, gets it to go, soaking the contact, and now the free throw is good. So a 7-point advantage for Bryant, 73-66 with 8:56 and counting left to play. Girard, top of the key, gives it up to Griffin, back to Girard. Boeheim on the right side. Boeheim pulls up from 3. This one's off the mark and a rebound by Peter Kiss. So Syracuse really just trying to get back into this game with 3-pointers, not getting interior play whatsoever. 3-pointers off the mark by Michael Green the third. Great rebound by Alan Griffin. Syracuse going the other way, trying to push the pace. Boeheim, wide open 3 right side. This one rattles around and it drops. Buddy Boeheim with a huge 3. Syracuse needed that one. And now it's a 73-69 game, 4-point advantage for the Bulldogs. Still 2 possessions. Now a pass intercepted by Marek Dolezaj, intended by Peter Kiss. Now Boeheim 3. He's got it. 2 in a row. Buddy Boeheim picking up some steam, and it's a 1-point game inside the Loud House. Buddy Boeheim hits back-to-back triples, one of the leading 3-point shooters in the Atlantic Coast Conference last season. And Buddy Boeheim proving his stature, coming up big when the Orange need it. A timeout called by Bryant. It's a 1-point game. And Buddy Boeheim, back-to-back triples. 73-72 advantage, 8-11 left to play for the Bryant Bulldogs. So they'll get a TV timeout after the Bulldogs call one. Both teams coming into this 0-0 on the season. The Bryant Bulldogs were supposed to play Stony Brook last week, and that game was canceled due to COVID-19 related issues. With Stony Brook, I should add, not the Bryant Bulldogs, so not a huge fear for Syracuse fans. We'll take a look at some of the box score numbers here in this game. Buddy Boeheim finally getting hot. He was the Orange's leading scorer, and he continues it. 23 points today so far, 8 for 17 from the field. On the other side, it's Childs as the leading scorer. He's got 18 points, 6 for 9 from the field, only has missed 1. Rebounds, Alan Griffin leads it with 10. On the other side, Alicius leads it with 6. Dolezaj's got 6 assists, and that's interesting because Dolezaj last year I thought was really the best passer on the team. Great facilitator, really can share the ball well, and he had some flashy passes, just knows where his teammates are, but that has changed. You know, Elijah Hughes not on this team anymore. New guys, Alan Griffin, Kadari Richmond, Robert Braswell getting more burn this year. So far, it's been evident because he played some chunk minutes today that we have never seen him play in a Syracuse jersey. We've seen him, you know, get those kind of last seconds of the game time, but nothing too contributing out of Robert Braswell. So some new guys for Dolezaj to share the ball to, and it just seems like this team's cohesion isn't fully there. And Bryant seems to certainly have the advantage, but Syracuse gets it back to a 1-point game. They've gone on some spurting runs here, but Bryant always seems to respond out of a stoppage of play. A couple of timeouts when Syracuse draws it close has Bryant really gather themselves and take back any kind of wind out of Syracuse sails. So the commercials continue on the ACC network. Syracuse trailing Bryant by a score 73-72. As we can take a look at some scores around the country here. Some great games last night. Villanova and Arizona State played last night. That was a close one. Arizona State came in ranked 18th in the country in the 2K Classic, and Villanova was number 3. They will continue that after a win by about 9 to Arizona State. And Gonzaga played Kansas yesterday, and Gonzaga won that one in convincing fashion. Also, some football taking place today. Notre Dame and North Carolina currently tied up on ABC. That's a big one. North Carolina ranked 19th in the country. Notre Dame ranked 2nd in the country. A lot of football taking place today. It's Thanksgiving weekend, and typically you'll see that. Commercials continue as it looks like we're finally back. Interesting to see if Kadari Richmond will get some more burn for Syracuse and come back into this game. We saw him a lot early, have not really seen him since, not too much in the second half anyways. Syracuse certainly needs to have their scorers on the floor. Guerrier has been huge in the comeback, and then Buddy Boeheim hit back-to-back triples to draw it within 1. Joe Girard still scoreless on the afternoon, has not made a bucket for Syracuse. And that's certainly a surprise, as I was a person that was expecting him to have kind of that forward bounce that Buddy Boeheim had, pushing forward and really elevating his game from year 1 to year 2. We haven't seen it yet tonight. Peter Kiss on the left side. Now up to Childs, top of the key. Over to Pride. Now Kiss. Pass to the inside. Alley-oop is up, no good. And no whistle is blown, so no foul. It looks like there might have been that one for a second, and Syracuse takes it away. Charles Pride turns it over. An alley-oop attempt proves to be costly for Bryant, and the Orange have a chance to take a lead here with a bucket. Boeheim drives, kicks it out. Alan Griffin on the drive, and a stoppage of play. Offensive foul. Bryant will take it back. 7:28 left to play. Boeheim's furious with his son. Now Hurtado at the top of the key. Over to Pride. Back to Hurtado. Pride in the corner. Pump fakes. The zone collapses on him. Hurtado. Left side kiss for three. Off the mark. Dolezaj gobbles up the rebound, and Syracuse in transition. Slows down the pace. Pass to the inside. Guerrier forces one up. Gets a foul. Offensive. Bryant soaks the offensive foul. It's Louis Hurtado on the inside. It goes against Quincy Guerrier. Boeheim furious. I'm not sure that Hurtado got his feet set. Guerrier had to go up and contest the layup there. 6:59 left to play, just under 7 minutes to go. Syracuse still trailing by 1, and we've been scoreless since coming out of that timeout called by Bryant. Boeheim brought us to within 1 with 2 triples in a row. Guerrier was huge on the inside, and it looked like that was an opportunity to take the lead. Nonetheless, now it's Michael Green III going the other way with it. Over to Childs. Hurtado. Michael Green, guarded by Boeheim. Screen comes. Hurtado. Green. Childs penetrates, and there will be a travel call against Childs. So Syracuse needs to take advantage of these opportunities. Bryant coughing up this game right now, giving Syracuse the ball back a couple of times in a row now. Their coach doesn't like it. Boeheim on the drive, kicks it out. Girard, opportunity for a wide open three. Now a floater inside, still scoreless off the front rim. Boeheim can't get one to go. Boeheim tried to tip it away. Out of bounds it goes, and it'll still be Bryant ball. Athletic play out of Buddy Boeheim. Girard still can't get a bucket to fall in this game. Michael Green III. Screen comes. Pass to the inside. Hurtado can't get the lay-in. Now a second chance at it, and a foul is called. Going to the charity stripe now. It looks like it'll be Michael Green III. Rather, instead, it'll be Hall Elysius, the redshirt senior, who's had a great game, especially in the first half tonight. Gets clobbered in the face by Marek Dolezaj, and that's certainly a foul, so he'll take a trip to the free throw line, a chance to extend this to a 3-point advantage for the Bulldogs. Still one possession. He's rubbing his eyes here. Dolezaj got him good in the face, as I said. No student section today to try and wave this free throw off. The first one, no good for Elysius. Syracuse still only trailing by 1 point. 6:20 left to play. Dolezaj in some foul trouble with 4 now. In his senior year in orange. The second one, off the back rim and out. And I think his vision was certainly impaired after taking one to the eye from Marek Dolezaj on the foul. Still a 1-point game. Syracuse certainly needs a bucket here. They've been given the opportunities. Dolezaj, spin move. Girard, wide open three, top of the key. Give it to him. Coming up big when Syracuse needs it. Hasn't scored all day, but Joe Girard III sinks the bucket that takes Syracuse the lead right back. Michael Green lost it for a second. Now a jumper, scores it. Ties it up, 75 all. 5:42 left to go in the second half. Joe Girard back with it for Syracuse. A lob to the inside. Dolezaj to Guerrier, and he lays it in. 77-75 lead for the Orange. 5:30 left to go. Michael Green III pushing the pace a little bit. And now Syracuse, this is what they want. The game is slowed down. Completely slowed down in Syracuse's favor. That wasn't the case for the entire first half. And an offensive foul against Bryant going the other way. Syracuse will take it. 5:18 left to go. Look at this. Jesse Edwards now in the game on the inside for Syracuse. Jim Boeheim possibly trying to light a spark here. Put some weight on during the offseason for sure for Syracuse. And Boeheim conversing with his team right now. So a timeout for Syracuse. Robert Braswell's got some burn today, and now Jesse Edwards as well, a 6'11 sophomore center. As I said, tomorrow it'll be Syracuse and NC State football inside the Dome, the final home game for the Orange. Kyle Marchak will be back in this one. He had to leave us earlier in the broadcast for some other obligations due to work, and we certainly can't fault him for that. Although I do miss him right now, especially during the breaks. I love chatting with him about what's going on through the game. Great analysis, very intelligent guy, and just a blast to call games with Kyle Marchak. We're actually thinking about going to college together. So just kind of see if our paths lead that way would be fantastic. We put out a lot of great content. We have a huge passion for this and want to make a career out of it. Now, Alan Griffin also back into the game for Syracuse. So the lineup right now, it's Gary A., Jesse Edwards on the inside, Alan Griffin, Buddy Boeheim, and Joe Girard III. So the only new face is Jesse Edwards. Girard tightly guarded here by Green. Green really pushing out on him. Pokes the ball loose, and out of bounds off Joe Girard. What a play out of Michael Green III. Hits it off Joe Girard's leg. Out of bounds it goes, and with 5:03 left, Bryant, now trailing by 2 to Syracuse, has the ball back. What a play by Michael Green III, the sophomore guard out of the Bronx. Michael Green, top of the key. Over to Pride. Back to Green at the top. Pride now pulls up for 3, buries it, and takes the lead. 78-77. Bryant's got the lead back with 4:45 left to play. What a bucket out of the Syracuse native. That was NBA range there from Charles Pride. A deep one. Girard, fancy dribble moves, gives it off to Boeheim. Boeheim driving, kicks it out. Gary A. for 3. Gary A. off the back rim. This tipped. Alan Griffin, an offensive rebound, gets it back, takes it right away from Pride. And now Syracuse a fresh shot clock. Back to Girard. Gary A. taking 2 threes today, hasn't hit a single one. Not his game last year. Boeheim did say that his jump shooting was much improved, though. Joe Girard using his footwork. Step back 3. Absolutely smothered. Hall Elysius swats it right out of the air. Girard didn't stand a chance. And now a drive here. Michael Green. A foul goes against Syracuse. Girard hanging his head here. It's not been a performance to be proud of out of him tonight. And Buddy Boeheim going over to his father. Coach Boeheim not happy about it. So I'll take a very brief break here on Orange Heat with Giovanni Heater. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in just a second. Syracuse now trailing by 1. Welcome back here on Orange Heat. My name's Giovanni Heater, and I'll be taking you the rest of the way. Kyle Marchak stepped aside. He was my analyst tonight, as always. He had some prior obligations to attend to, but was here most of the way with us. So Bryant now with a 3-point lead after 2 free throws from Michael Green III. Syracuse in transition. Alan Griffin drives to the bucket, and he's fouled. Tried to stuff it in with a dunk, and Hall Elysius puts the contact on him. So Syracuse now down by 3. And we give condolences to the loss of the Syracuse football program. Marcus Paul played for the Syracuse Orange back in the day. Huge contributor, a huge part of the Syracuse football family. And he passed away earlier this week. Having some technical difficulties. Sorry about that. Had some technical difficulties here. Some comments saying we were on mute. I believe we are all set now. So Alan Griffin, 12 points tonight. And this free throw's off the mark. So he hit one, missed one, 80-78. Bryant still leads it by 2. 3:47 left to go. Michael Green III with the drive. Kick out. 3-pointer for Childs. Off the mark. Syracuse stretching out for a rebound. Girard chases it down. And now a lob to the inside. Alan Griffin. Oh, my goodness. Joe Girard with a lob from just past half court. And Alan Griffin stuffs it down, ties the game. 3 minutes and 23 seconds left to go. Holy cow. That's a highlight play and a half. SportsCenter top 10 right there. Now a pass to the inside. Fouled. Luis Hurtado tried to get it to go, unable to do so. As we take another look at the replay here, wow. Alan Griffin, an athletic play to tie the game. Joe Girard couldn't have passed that ball better. But we haven't seen an exciting dunk like that in Syracuse in what feels like a very long time. Tie ball game, 3:08 left to go, but Hurtado is going to take a trip to the free throw line. Marek Dolezaj fouls out, 18 points tonight. Contributed offensively for sure. Some difficulties on the inside. Kind of got bullied a little bit by Hall Elysius, but 18 points. Marek Dolezaj with his 5th foul, which is unfortunate. The referee's taking a look at it. Not sure what they're talking about here, but they are on the side conversing with the replay officials. I almost wonder if they're seeing if it's a flagrant or not. I wouldn't see why it would be, but it is under official review. I don't think you can retract a foul, but this is a huge call here because there's 3 minutes left in the game. You got a tie ball game inside the dome. What could be a statement win for Bryant and Syracuse just trying to escape here. We knew this would be a tough game. We knew Bryant was no pushover. Jared Grasso has this program, firing on all cylinders. Picked to finish 3rd in the NEC. Looks like they could do even more damage than that. This really looks like an NCAA tournament team. High-scoring affair today, 80-80 on each side of the ball. 3:08 left to play, but I can't get over that huge dunk. Alley-oops from Joe Girard to Alan Griffin. Phenomenal. And I'm sure anybody that's watching as well as they listen can attest to that. Unfortunately, I cannot show the game due to copyright issues. I can only call it radio style. So, apologies for that, but certainly love to do this. My passion, it's what I'm going to college for, what I want to make a career out of. So anybody on here watching, very, very appreciated for the support and enjoying the game. Kyle Marchak, my partner in a lot of play-by-play affairs, was with me earlier tonight. He had to step away for a prior commitment, but he will be back tomorrow. Syracuse versus North Carolina State inside the dome football game, and we'll be on the call for that. Kickoff is at noon in upstate New York. So Jim Boeheim does not look happy right now. Dolezaj still in the game. Free throw now for Charles Pride. I'm very confused as well as where is Jared Grasso, because Dolezaj has 5 fouls and he's not out of the game right now. So they either gave it to someone else. Boeheim seems confused as well, but he's like, I'll take it. Jared Grasso is livid. Both free throws are good for the Cuse native Charles Pride, and it's a 2-point advantage for Bryant. 3:07 left to play. Dolezaj still in this game. Tipped out of bounds. They say Guerrier touched it. Luis Hurtado came in on a full court pass, tipped it away, and somehow it hit off Guerrier as well. So Bryant back with the ball, 3 minutes to go, and a 2-point advantage. Costly turnover for Syracuse and a careless mistake. Now Childs with it. Back to Michael Green III, top of the key. Childs, pump fake. Green driving in. Taken away by Dolezaj. And it goes off of his foot, so an unfortunate kicked ball violation would have been a great turnover for Syracuse to push the tempo a little bit. Nonetheless, it goes off the foot of Marek Dolezaj. Bryant will keep the possession alive for now. Pass to the inside. Hurtado drives in, and he's rejected away by Alan Griffin. Griffin tossed it back in to save the ball from going out of bounds. They say his foot was out. Again, a situation I didn't see it. But who am I to judge? I'm not an official. Childs, deep jumper for 2. Off the mark. Guerrier pulls down the rebound, and Syracuse, trailing by 2 with 2.5 minutes to go, has got the ball back. Dolezaj on the inside. Girard, a deep 3. He gets hit, and the bucket. He's been cold all day, but he's come up huge with some big 3-pointers for Syracuse. No fouls called, but he takes a 1-point lead for Syracuse. 3-pointer off the mark in the corner here for Kiss, but an offensive rebound here by Michael Green III. Green III driving in. Kick out. Pride for 3 off the mark. Guerrier a rebound. And now Syracuse with a 1-point advantage, 2 minutes to go, has the ball back. Joe Girard with a couple of deep 3s coming up huge for Syracuse when they need it. He was cold all day, but now he's cooking up some fire. Guerrier is screen on Dolezaj. Back to Girard. Michael Green III. Tight defense on Joey. Girard through the legs. Has to heave one. End of the shot clock. Buries it. They wave it off saying it left his hands after the shot clock. And wow, how that could have turned this game around. It would have been a 4-point lead for Syracuse. Jim Boeheim doesn't like it. A step back fadeaway 3 from way deep at the end of the shot clock out of Joe Girard. And they're showing the replay. Not sure it's one of those tic-tac calls, and against Joe Girard it goes. Syracuse still only with a 1-point lead. Pass to the inside. Michael Green III. Out of bounds it goes. Too tough of a pass for Peter Kiss to corral. And Syracuse takes it back. That's a costly turnover for the Bulldogs. 1:15 to go. It's crunch time for both squads. Boeheim with it. Pass up the court. Alan Griffin. Syracuse playing this one slow. 22 seconds in the shot clock. 1:06 on the game. Griffin dribbles through his legs. Gives it back to Boeheim. Boeheim, spin move. Trying to drive inside. Kick out. Griffin, pump fakes, driving in. And a blocking foul against the Bulldogs. Able to soak that one is Alan Griffin. It goes against Luis Hurtado Jr., the redshirt junior guard, 6'6", 210, out of Venezuela. But he gets the blocking foul. Syracuse says they're in the bonus. Nonetheless, there's not a trip to the free throw line. Into Dolezaj. Up to Girard at the top of the key, right side. Tightly guarded. Michael Green III playing some very tight defense, contesting Joe Girard III. Alan Griffin pulls up from 3, off the front rim and out. 37 seconds left. Bryant only down by 1. Syracuse, 1-point advantage. Kick out. 3-pointer. Peter Kiss off the mark. Guerrier, a huge rebound. 27 seconds to go. Dolezaj with it. Back to Girard, and Dolezaj is fouled. So he will take a trip. It'll be a 1-and-1 at the free throw line for Marek Dolezaj. You can't ask for a better look if you're Bryant. Peter Kiss was wide open in the right corner, and he just couldn't hit the shot. And Quincy Guerrier, who's been big in this second half, came up with a huge rebound. Dolezaj hits one. So the first free throw falls. Syracuse a 2-point advantage, and they could stretch it to 3 with one more. Dolezaj, 19 points, 7 for 7 tonight from the free throw line. He's perfect. I hope I didn't jinx him. And I didn't. Nothing but net. 3-point advantage for the Orange. 22.6 seconds left to go inside the newly renovated Carrier Dome. Bryant needs to move. And a timeout call. So the clock started before it was supposed to. Therefore, they're going to have to inbound it again, putting 22.6 back on it. They did that situation where you roll it up the court, try to save and conserve some time. Michael Green III touches it. And they say that the clock started wrong. Now the official's talking about it again. A lot of confusion on the court, it seems. Coach is not happy. A nice play. Michael Green Jr. Michael Green III kind of clapping his hands to get Girard off of him, looking like he picked it up as the ball bounces to him. He claps his hands so that kind of draw that attention. Girard backs off, and then he decides to let it roll at that point, not wanting to give up a turnover. Syracuse leading by 3, 22.6. They'll try the inbound for a third time, and it seems like third time is the charm. This time, nothing fancy, no rolls, no claps. It's just directly passed in, and I think that's what the ref had trouble with. Michael Green III drives in. A floater, hits it. It's a 1-point game. Bryant draws it to 1. 12 seconds left. Boeheim yelling at his team. Michael Green III has been the biggest contributor on this Bulldogs squad tonight. He's quick, he's explosive, he's fast, and he is the energy of this Bulldogs squad. Look at that. A nice crossover to get around Joe Girard III, and then hits the pull-up jumper from the elbow. 1-point game. It'll be Syracuse ball. 12 seconds left to go. Bryant will most likely look to foul here. Surprised they didn't look for 3, but they didn't necessarily have to. Plenty of clock left, and maybe smart by Green to penetrate and get a pull-up jumper rather than forcing a 3-pointer. That's what Syracuse expected, a 3-pointer for sure. Leading scorer tonight has been Childs. Pride behind him and Michael Green III as well. Childs with 18 and the other two with 15. Tonight, Buddy Boeheim, the leading scorer, 20 points, 23 rather. Marek Dolezaj with 20, Quincy Guerrier 15, and Alan Griffin 14. So the ball has been spread, but Buddy Boeheim proving that he might be one of the biggest forces in the Atlantic Coast Conference this season. Bryant giving Syracuse a heck of a fight. Led most of the game. Syracuse fought back. Buddy Boeheim hit some big threes. Girard did as well, and Guerrier was explosive on the inside. He's been terrific on the glass as well. So the inbound pass gets to Guerrier. He's fouled. It'll be a 1-and-1. Syracuse still not in the double bonus. And these free throws are huge. So a miss here would allow Bryant to go down the court with it and possibly hit a game-winning shot. Syracuse leading by 1. A make here gets it a 2-point game, and 2 makes would be the best case scenario for Syracuse. Guerrier, 1 for 2 from the free throw stripe tonight. Misses it. Dolezaj with a great rebound off the missed free throw, and now he's fouled. The scrappy man out of Slovakia comes up huge for Syracuse. That rebound is as big as you could get in college basketball. The Orange needed that one, and now you send a guy to the line who's been perfect from the charity stripe tonight. 8 for 8. Dolezaj will have a chance at 2 more. So Dolezaj, 20 points tonight. They said he fouled out earlier in the game. Question mark is, why is he even still in? The first one misses. 9 seconds left. Bryant pushing the tempo. A chance to win it. Corner three. Peter Kiss puts it up. Off the mark. No good. Buzzer beater shot off the mark. Syracuse survives. Oh my goodness. Bryant had 2 chances at it. In the corner, it was a 3-pointer for Peter Kiss. Then Michael Green, the third, had a shot at it. And the Bulldogs hang their heads. Dolezaj couldn't hit the free throw to extend the lead. It was a 1-point game. Bryant had a chance to win it twice. Once with seconds left and once at the buzzer. Couldn't do it. And Syracuse survives. Nonetheless, 1-0 is 1-0. And the Orange scored a lot of points tonight. 85-84 is your final inside the Carrier Dome. Wow. What a game this was today. Incredible. Defense is the question mark for Syracuse, allowing 84 points, but the offensive onslaught was evident. Syracuse came up big when it matters, and 1-0 on the season are the Orange. What a battle. In the first game of 2020 inside the Dome, the Bryant Bulldogs gave it all they could, but an incredible game to kick off the season, and that's the excitement of Syracuse basketball. It feels like March Madness already in upstate New York. Bryant had 2 good looks to win the game, and they couldn't convert. Valiant effort out of the Bulldogs gave Syracuse absolutely everything they could handle, but the Orange survived late. Thank you so much for joining me here today. It was a fun one. Kyle Marchak was here most of the way with us, calling color commentary through the game. He had to depart for a prior obligation due to work with about 15 minutes left to go in the action. But he'll be back tomorrow. Our next broadcast here on Orange Heat with Giovanni Heater. We're calling Syracuse versus NC State football inside the Dome. It's the final home game for the Orange. Thank you so much for joining me. Syracuse wins a big one, 85-84 the final inside the Dome. So for Kyle Marchak, my name's Giovanni Heater, and we'll see you tomorrow. 85-84, Syracuse takes down Bryant in the Dome.